Hello, Bashar. My name is Jay.
All right, good day.
Yes. So I took one of your webinars a little while back. I don't remember the title, but it had to do with asking us to take a vote.
Yes.
Around the
fifth law.
Yes, correct.
Yes, because there were four, and we realized that in our interaction with many civilizations, one of the subsets of one of the laws perhaps would serve you better if it was spelled out as its own law, which became the law, everything is here and now, to help you remember that the present is where you exist. Yes. And so we asked for your votes as to whether you wanted to keep just the four laws or whether you thought it was helpful to have the fifth law to help clarify things a little bit more. How did you vote?
That yes, this is too short.
All right. And so?
So, and the end, after the vote, you mentioned that, well, in a sense, this was our graduation as a species into being accepted into the, I forget the name, but the collective of...
the Interstellar Alliance.
There we go.
You are, in that sense, approaching the idea of membership. You have an honorary membership, but you are approaching the idea of real active membership over the course of the next several years, yes.
Okay.
But it depends upon how much you align yourself with vibrations that are similar to other beings in that alliance. Yes.
So here's my question.
Here is your question. All right, speak up and be bold,
yes,
so that all may hear what you have to share.
Oh boy, oh boy. So given where we are now,
yes,
what are we contributing? And what could we contribute if we became more for our next step? So it's like two questions, actually. What are we contributing now? We must be contributing something.
Of course you are.
Yes. Which is?
Well, you are contributing many things, one of which is the idea, as we originally mentioned, that you chose to experience a great degree of forgetfulness and limitation in your reality as a spirit, so that you could remember who you are. The idea is there are not necessarily, although there are some, not necessarily many worlds that have experienced the same degree or depth of exploration of limitation and darkness as you have chosen to experience on Earth. The idea, therefore, is that this isn't a kindergarten, this is a master graduating class. It takes a strong spirit to go into that depth of limitation and forgetfulness and yet still be capable of remembering who you are and bringing light back into your life. That's highly transformative. We have learned many things about your ways of processing this transformation and have shared this with other civilizations who may also experience challenges, but not necessarily to the same degree that your world is. Thus, then they can look at you and say, well, if they can do it, it's easy for us. You understand?
I do, yes.
All right, so that's inspiring. One thing.
And what's our next evolutionary step? What could we give as we go along?
As we already said, being yourself as best as you can is what makes all the difference in the world. Because then you become an example of the vibration of a shift and a change that is representative of a desire to expand in a way that allows us to expand together as family and friends. And thus then by being able to interact with you that way, we are expanded as a family. You understand?
Yes.
So you are giving that as well. Does that help?
Yes, that does.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Or shall I say, does that answer your questions?
Thank you, yes.
All right.
I have another.
Oh, all right.
Which is, so is there a ship above us as you're here?
There are ships all over the place all the time. You can't always see them.
From your...
my particular ship, myself,
yes,
is still above the area on your planet you call Sedona.
Uh-huh.
But there are other ships from my civilization and other civilizations over your cities in various places at various times, almost all the time. You know, the idea is that there are many comings and goings. And it really depends upon whether you simply have the expansion ability in your senses to perceive that those ships are coming and going all the time. There are many vortex hubs around your planet that ships use to go from one dimension or another. They may be passing through whether they stop or not. The idea is that you can begin to perceive some of them more and more. You may not perceive all of them. But really the analogy of asking that question would be the same kind of analogy as asking a person on your planet who has a house underneath an airport if there's an airplane overhead. From time to time, yes, of course there is, because I'm in the flight path.
Uh-huh.
So In a sense, there are flight paths all over your planet and ships coming and going or stopping and observing or doing various things all the time. Whether you can perceive them or not is a matter of whether or not it's important for you to do so at that moment and the degree of vibrational similarity you may have to those particular beings passing by. Make sense?
Yes. So,
does this help you?
Yes.
And so,
is it possible to get an invitation to visit your ship?
Understand this. We are always, always, always beaming that energy and invitation to you all. You don't always answer. The idea, however, is that that happens at the right place at the right time. There is a timing to these things when it's truly beneficial and appropriate for all. All those appointments have already been made on a higher level. The only way to miss such an appointment is to spend time wondering if you will miss the appointment. That's the paradox. If you just get on about your life and be who you are as fully as you can, you will become the person with whom the appointments were made.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
So don't worry about it. You don't have to ask. All the invitations have already been sent. All the invitations have already been answered. If, in that sense, it is relevant for your life, it will unfold as long as you are being the best you can be. So you don't have to worry about it or think about it. Just get on with your life. Yes?
Yes.
Does
very
that help
good.
you?
That does.
Why, thank
you so much for
You are
being
welcome
here.
so
Yes.
much.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day.
You too. Now that Andromeda Council contactee Tolek and Franco de Nicola have said that Mother Earth as a planet has ascended into fourth dimensional density, what will it take for humanity as a species to ascend into fourth dimensional density to the point where we will realize that time is an illusion, we don't need to have sex to reproduce, we don't need to eat to reproduce, and we can sleep less and all the other things that come along with being a truly fourth dimensional human?
Fourth density human.
Yeah, that's what I
You're
meant.
already a fourth dimensional human because you have 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time.
Right.
Density is a different thing.
Yeah.
You could look at the idea of dimension, in a sense, as a country, and density as states within that country. You can have the idea of third density and fourth density within the physical fourth dimensional space-time reality. Coincidentally, when you cross from the idea of fourth density to fifth density, you will actually also simultaneously be crossing into the fifth dimension. We, as a civilization, ourselves, are in the process of going from fourth density to fifth density, and this is why we are becoming less and less and less physical. You are going from third density into fourth density, but you will remain in physical reality as a species for about another 1,000 years or so. Over the course of that time, you will find yourself changing in ways that will allow you to refine your energy, accelerate your energy, where some of the things you needed to do before as a physical being will no longer be necessary, similar to what we have experienced, because we no longer eat, we no longer sleep. Our reproduction is handled energetically, very differently than it used to be. So you are heading in that direction. It will probably take you at least a couple of 100 years as an entire society to begin to show more and more and more of that. But what's your hurry?
There is no hurry. Just live life to the fullest, I guess.
You are all eternal, infinite beings. You know the timing of the transformation that is taking place on your planet. There is no rush. It's all working out. And again, all you need to do, as I said, it's the entire formula, is act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability, and then allow yourself to have no assumption as to what the outcome ought to be. That's all you need to do to experience the timing of the unfolding of all these changes. Now, it's possible that separate individuals may sometimes be a little bit ahead of the curve, and so it's possible that certain individuals will start to exhibit some of those things a little bit before other individuals, but again, that's all right. You're not going to go faster or farther ahead than will serve the collective whole you agree to be of service to. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
You won't leave anyone behind, so to speak. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Does that answer your question, then?
Yes, it does.
Why, thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you good day. Speak up, speak up.
This is Kelly.
Oh, all right, if you insist.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for your ebullience and your expansion and your permission to become more passionate and fully uniquely myself.
Thank you for yours. Remember, we are only acting as a reflection of your own higher mind.
I have issues with feeling limited in my ability to interface with mundane things like
Define mundane. And why are you defining them as mundane?
Because of my spirit seems to drop whenever I have to do anything that grounds me into this dimension in
All
terms
right,
of
but you do understand that the only reason you're having that experience is because of your definition of that experience. You understand that?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No.
Thank you. Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Understand that as a physical being, your psyche is made up of a prism of three things: beliefs, definitions, emotions, feelings, and thoughts, actions. You understand?
Yes.
And the idea is that it all starts with the definition. It all starts with your belief. Some of your beliefs are conscious, some of them are unconscious. The idea is to get in touch with what those definitions are, because if you're experiencing a reality in a way that you don't prefer to, the only way you could be experiencing it that way is you have a definition of it that makes it feel that way. Because all feelings are secondary to belief. You cannot have a feeling about anything of any kind without first defining that thing in some way, shape, or form. If I throw a word at you that you don't know the definition to, you have no idea how to feel about it, do you?
What can I do to dismantle
I'm getting there.
Okay.
The idea is you have to get in touch with what that definition is. So, one way, it's not the only way, you can use your imagination to alter this however you wish, but one way is to ask a very pointed question of yourself. When you find yourself in a situation where you are feeling limited, ask yourself, what would I have to believe is true about myself in relation to the situation in order to generate the feeling I'm experiencing? If you are willing to hear the answer, then in some way, shape, or form, the answer will present itself to you about what the belief is. It might come in your thoughts, it might come in your inspirations, it might come in your dreams, it might come in the synchronicity in your life, it may come in a variety of ways. But if you're willing to receive the answer and find out what that definition is, and you're not afraid to find it out, you will find out what that definition is. Now, once you have discovered consciously a definition within you that is actually out of alignment with who you prefer to be, you will instantly recognize two things. All right, three things. You will recognize that it is nonsensical, illogical, and it doesn't belong to you. It came from someone else. Your parents, your friends, your school, your society, what have you. As soon as you identify a belief that isn't yours, that's out of alignment with your vibration, you will instantly see it's illogical, it makes no sense to hold on to it whatsoever. It belongs to someone else who gave it to you that you've been holding on to all this time. And as soon as it appears that way, you'll drop it, unless you have another belief that tells you you should hold on to it for some other reason. And if that's the case, then you need to ask the question again and find out what that belief is. But as soon as you find out what the core belief is supporting all the secondary ones, and you let go of the core belief, all the secondary ones attached to it will also fall away. The only thing that weighs you down is luggage that doesn't belong to you. That's your first clue. If you're feeling weighed down, if you're feeling limited, you are carrying around a definition that someone else gave you that you don't realize you're still carrying around, lugging it around, getting tired. So the idea is to find out, oh, this isn't my luggage. Drop it. Give it back to the person. You don't want to steal their belief. You don't want to be a belief thief. Right?
Right.
So find out what it is, identify the belief, and then once you realize it's not yours, unless you have another rationale for holding on to it, it will dissipate. That's how it works. But first you have to understand that you have bought into these definitions and you're defining these things as mundane. As soon as you give it that definition, that's the only effect you can get out of it. Because again, remember, every situation, are you paying attention?
I'm doing my best.
All right. Every situation, without exception, is fundamentally neutral. There is no built-in meaning to anything. The greatest gift you have all been given in life I know this sounds funny in your language, is that life is meaningless. It is devoid of automatic meaning. They're just neutral props, neutral circumstances. You have all been designed as the meaning givers in life. You're what gives life meaning. So the meaning you put into a situation is what determines the effect you get out of it. Remember the fourth law, what you put out is what you get back? It's a law. So if you find that you're feeling mundane, you must be defining your relationship to the situation that's happening as mundane. And so the only effect you can get back is a reflection of the mundane. If, however, you understand and choose to buy into the idea that every single thing that appears in your life is there for a positive reason, to serve you, to learn from, to become a more expanded being and remember more of who you are, then you will give it that meaning, that interpretation, that positive energy. And no matter what anyone else's idea or anyone else's intention in that situation may be, the only effect you will experience from that same situation that serves double duty is the positive one based on the meaning you have chosen to give it. So the choice is in your hands. The total control is in your hands. Do you understand this concept?
I understand the concept. I'm particularly inflicted in the area of finances and creativity, if you have anything to
I
share.
am particularly inflicted. Notice the negative definition.
Feels that way.
I know, and what did I say about feeling?
That I need to know why I feel it and get rid of the
You
programming.
need to understand the definition that generates the feeling. I understand it feels that way. I'm telling you why it feels that way. Things don't just automatically feel a certain way. They only feel the way they do because you're defining them that way. So if you don't prefer the feeling of that limitation or that quote-unquote infliction, don't define the circumstance as an infliction. Do you understand?
Yes.
When you use the ideas of negativity, problems, obstacles, limitations, that's what you're going to get. But if you say, all right, here's a situation. It's neutral. It has no meaning, no power over me, nothing. It's a challenge. That's fine. Of course you will have challenges. If you don't have challenges and positive forms of resistance, you don't grow. So the idea is to look at this in a positive way. Oh, there's a situation here where this particular thing is not manifesting. And that's a challenge. How exciting that I am presented with this challenge, because now it's an opportunity to face this challenge in a positive way and expand my understanding and relationship to the idea of abundance and creativity. That's the response that will allow you to have a positive experience in that situation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But if you sit there and go, well, I'm so limited, I'm so inflicted, I just can't do anything, how can you expect any other kind of an experience other than one that carries infliction, limitation, and lack of creativity? Now, please do understand again that when we talk about the idea of watching your definitions and clarifying your definitions, you really have to be very, very precise. I have now at this point, up to this moment in the dialogue, used very colloquial terms so that you will understand what we are saying. But many of the ways that we actually said things are not as precise as they could be. Here's how to take it even further. When you say things like, oh, I'm experiencing a lack of abundance, a lack of finance, a lack of creativity, that's not possible. There is no such thing as a lack of trust, a lack of abundance, a lack of creativity, a lack of confidence. There is no such thing. There is, however, an absolute trust in lack, an abundance of lack. You see where we're going? It's not that you lack abundance, it's that you have an abundance of lack because of your belief system. It's not that you lack creativity, it's that you're using your creativity to make it seem like you're not creative, but that's a very creative thing to do. It's analogous to when people on your planet say, well, we only use 10% of our brains. Nonsense! You're using 100% of your brain to make it seem like you're using 10%. That's the difference. And when you start to have more precise definitions about these things in the way we have just described, you will see then that you don't have to struggle and suffer so much, because it's not like you have to learn how to trust. It's not like you have to learn to be abundant. It's not like you have to learn to be creative. You just have to use your trust, your abundance, and your creativity in the direction you prefer instead of in the direction that you don't. It's that simple. You don't have to learn these things. They're automatic. You always trust something to be true. If you didn't, you would have no experience at all. You understand?
Yes.
So, let go of the idea that you are not creative and not abundant, and watch your definitions, because again, I understand what you mean on your planet when you say that there is not necessarily the finance there, but the idea is don't just limit it to the concept of money. Money is all well and good as a symbol of abundance on your planet, but it's not the only one. If someone were to come along and give you a gift, would you turn it down because you didn't, in that sense, pay for it?
No.
Well, that's a form of abundance, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, then why insist on only one form of abundance being necessary to accomplish something when other forms of abundance might actually help you get there quicker? Why shut the door to all other ways abundance could come and all other forms in which it could come by insisting that only one way is valid, as your society has taught you? Do you want to really limit your abundance?
No.
Then don't focus on it being only money. Open up to all forms of abundance, and where money is necessary, money will flow. But where other forms of abundance may actually be the path of least resistance, that's what will happen. But your insistence that it can only happen this way will close the door to you ever experiencing it coming through another doorway. Make sense?
Yes.
Is this helping you lighten up a bit?
Yes, very much.
Please remember, all of you, the true path to enlightenment is to lighten up on yourselves
Yes.
first. You understand?
Yes.
Is this helping you?
Yes.
Do you feel a little bit more abundant, a little bit more creative, a little bit more free to be who you choose to be?
Yes.
Do you feel you can let go of baggage that you don't need to carry around anymore?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for choosing that. And remember, you are choosing that. It has nothing to do with the fact that we've said it to you. It has everything to do with the fact that you've said it to yourself, and that you choose to buy into that instead of something that's out of alignment with the vibration you know is true for you. Make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm pointing out all the way up. Way in the back, and you.
Hi, Bashar.
Andy, you good day.
My name is Amy.
All right.
I have recently opened a channel.
One moment. Can you all hear her? Speak up.
I have recently opened a channel, and
All right. Congratulations.
thank you.
In what form? Because you all channel from time to time.
Going into trance,
all
similar
right.
to what you do with Darryl.
You are talking about vocal channeling.
Yes.
Is that exciting for you?
Yes, it is. Well, I'm still learning.
So what? Is it exciting or
Yes,
not?
it is.
Thank
It's
you.
very exciting.
All right. No reason to hesitate.
Was wondering if you could tell me more about the entity that I have made contact with.
How long have you been doing this?
Just a few months. He approached me.
All right. Have you gotten any kind of a name that begins with an X or a Z or a Y sound?
Alpha.
Alpha, the A sound.
Yes.
All right. The other end of the alphabet.
Yes.
First and foremost, not always, but first and foremost, what is common when you begin that particular kind of practice is you will first connect with other aspects of your own consciousness, your own higher mind, your own guides, so on and so forth. And that will prep you, perhaps, if that is your desire or your agreement, to then work with other kinds of dimensional entities. So you may first be working with other aspects of yourself, thus then by alpha, the idea that it is the first primary step on your journey. The first, shall we say, elevation into your higher mind to become more of your higher self, yes?
Yes.
As you then explore other aspects of your being, other dimensions of your own being, you may find that other names may come that are at the other end of the alphabet in the way that we suggested. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's very common on your planet. The idea then is that, again, if there is an agreement, then other things may come in. But remember, in all cases, when you are making a connection to other beings, it is your energy that is being simply transformed into a mirror image of the vibration of those beings. And thus then you are acting as a translation device. Do you understand?
Yes, I
Nobody enters you. Nobody possesses you. There's no such thing as possession because there's no room inside you for anyone but you. You understand?
Yes, I do.
And so the idea is that you're mirroring. You're matching frequencies like tuning forks, locking together. And when you lock, then you translate the same thoughts in the same way at the same time. That's what telepathy is. That's what telepathy is. That's what channeling is you're locking onto a frequency that's representative of the vibration of what you're bringing through. Now, have you begun to do this for other people?
Not yet.
Why not?
I'm still trying to get the connection right.
I have a secret for you.
Okay.
It'll be easier for you to get the connection when you're actually doing it for other people. Because if you're just doing it for yourself, you're sitting there wondering, is that my thought? Am I making a connection? I'm not sure what's going on. When you are doing it for other people, you're out of the way. The person is asking a question that pulls the information through you like grounding a circuit. Then you just become a conduit. Do you understand?
Yes.
You are not involved in the process of having to wonder what's coming through. You're allowing them with their question to pull the information through you. So it's actually easier and more accelerated to actually begin to do it for friends. And all you need to do is get out of your own way and not worry how you sound, not worry how silly you may look, not worry whether the information is accurate, not worry whether it's even gibberish coming through you. That is a stronger way because it's also an indication of your willingness to commit to the idea. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
And that will help accelerate you.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else?
Yes. I'm wondering how many incarnations do I have here on Earth?
Before we answer you, do you understand that all lives exist simultaneously?
Yes, I do.
And therefore, when you say, how many incarnations do I have, what you're actually saying is, how many simultaneous incarnations are happening from the same oversoul that I am also an extension from?
Correct.
You
Yes,
understand?
I do.
And therefore, you're making cross connections to these other incarnations. You're not literally experiencing them one after another.
Correct. I
All right.
understand.
157.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day. Speak up, speak up.
I am an artist. My name is Eugenia Ortiz.
All right.
And I am like that young lady
Speak
that
up,
just
speak up.
passed. I also channel artwork.
All right.
And it has messages from
Of course it does.
the ancient
All
cultures.
informational patterns do.
Right, but I sometimes don't know what all the messages mean.
You may not need to.
Until later when the people who are looking at them start seeing things like
Yes.
this one is the...
Then it happens in perfect timing, does it not?
Yes.
All right, then what more do you want? That's the way art works. Yes?
Yes.
Information comes to those when they need it best. It serves as a reflection and a mirror to help them realize things going on within them that they can then decide to expand or not. Yes?
Right, and that's part of my destiny here on Earth as well.
Well, obviously, otherwise you would be doing something else.
Exactly.
Unless you're saying that that doesn't excite you, but obviously
No, it does.
Then that's part of your destiny. That's the hallway you have created to walk down. That's what destiny is. It's where the soul chooses a general theme that you will explore. How you go down that hallway is up to your physical free will. You can walk, run, crawl, backwards, forwards, upside down, sideways, whatever you wish. But the destiny is the theme your soul chose to explore in this life. Obviously, the idea of creative expression in this way and using art as a mirror and a reflection for others is part of that theme of exploration. Of course, it also works for you that way.
Right.
And so?
And so I guess I'm just here to share my artwork with the world and make it
Well,
better.
all right. Well, thank you. Obviously, that's obvious to you and obvious to us. There's no question here.
Yes.
It's just a statement of your truth, and we thank you for the sharing of it.
Yes, thank you. I do have one message for you.
Oh, all right.
Steve Moreau, that used to work with you in the 80s.
Yes.
He sends you love
All
and
right.
love to Isasani.
Our unconditional love as well.
Yes, thank
Thank you.
Hello. I have two questions.
Not at that level, you don't. Speak up and be bold. They need to hear your questions.
The first question is...
Not much better. Speak up.
How did you find Darryl, or how did Darryl find you?
From the idea, linearly speaking, incarnationally speaking, I am one of the channel's future selves. He is one of my past lives. So we are actually the same soul in that context. In the idea of our civilization making contact with other civilizations, one of the prerequisites for doing so is to have an incarnation in that society in order to absorb the understanding of that world. If I didn't have any experience in another life on your world, we would be too alien to each other to understand each other. So the idea is that I have past lives, one of which is Darryl sitting before you. I am one of his future lives, and we have made this connection in order for there to be cross-communication between the idea of what you call a past life and a future life. Of course, this connection could not happen if both lives didn't actually exist simultaneously. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Anything else?
Yes. What general neighborhood or star system is the Shalaniah from?
I am not allowed to tell you that yet. That will be unveiled at another place and another time. It is not the timing yet to tell you that.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No.
Thank you.
You want to end? You back there, and then you.
Hi, Bashar.
Anna, you good day.
Hi, I'm Vivian from Boston.
Oh, all right. Vivian from Boston.
Yes, and I want to say to you that thank you so much for your last lecture in the 2014, the year of reinvention.
Yes.
I feel like I'm totally transformed and doing exactly what my true self wants to do.
Oh, well, thank you very much for making that choice, and you will continue to transform.
Yes.
Transformation never ends.
Okay, thank you. And after that lecture, I didn't have a regular vacation like I used to. You know, I wrote a letter on Christmas Day to a religious group that I've been studying their religion about spirituality.
Yes.
Okay, and basically I asked them, maybe Christ showing us at his last moment of his life, that kind of compassion and unconditional love is what we need to do.
Yes.
Is to pray, okay? Because
what is prayer to you?
Prayer to me is connecting to the oneness, to the source of creation.
One more time, a little more precisely. Mm-hmm. Prayer is not connecting to, becoming aware of your connection to.
Okay.
Because you are never disconnected from.
Okay.
And by being in the vibration of awareness of your connection to all that is, then you allow yourself to be in a state of grace, which is another way of saying a state of gratitude for what is here and now, and deep appreciation for what is here and now.
Thank you. Does
that help?
That helped very much. Basically, I basically wrote a letter and said, just maybe, you're following the footstep of Christ, doing a lot of serving people. Maybe we need to look at this last moment. What we really need to do is to have compassion for those darkness. We call them darkness, but they are actually our soul brothers and sisters.
Of course. All right, calm down.
Okay.
You don't need to get all worked up about it.
Okay.
The idea is to be excited about this, to be in a state of balanced compassion about this. And it's not so much that you need to go around saying, this is what we need to do.
Okay.
You can recognize that this may need to be done, but the point is, just be a living example of it so that others see in you that you have done it. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not doing it, why should they?
I do.
So the idea is not to tell them that they need to do it, just to do it and be a living example. Because if you're a living example of someone in their true power, believe me, you won't have to tell them a thing. You'll have to beat them off with a stick. They'll want to know how you are so happy. Do you understand?
Yes, I share that.
So you don't need to proselytize. You just need to be an example. This is actually what your Yeshua, your Christ, meant when he said, I am the way. He just meant, be like I am. Be this way.
Yes.
Do you understand? That's it. So just be this way. And you will be a living example that they can see in their lives. And then you can share whatever information they ask you to share to teach them how they can also choose to be that way. But if you approach it from the sense of desperation, then it's not really compassion. You understand? So don't be desperate about it.
Yes, I want
Just
to
be
share.
Compassionate.
I want to share with you. I got such tremendous amount of reply,
Yes.
Appreciation.
Yes.
You know, letting me know that it really helped them. It like dawned on them, so they start praying.
It's all well and good. You can make a statement. You can make a declaration of what is true for you. We are just allowing you and others to make sure that when you make such declarations, you understand that it's all about the choice you have made. And it's not about needing anyone else to make the same choice.
Yeah.
Does that help?
That help. I do have a question for you. You know,
Yes.
after I listen to you, instead of, you know, like doing things like say, oh, I want to move to Florida just to be away from, you know, I feel Boston is a little bit dense in the energy.
Yes.
I actually feel like I need to stay in Boston.
Why?
Because I feel from your teaching, you said that when the negative energy is like, you know, more, the separation is a membrane, it can actually pull the positive moving the other side. I said maybe I
With
should go
negative
in.
beliefs,
Yeah,
yes.
yes. So
Well, it's an issue of deciding for yourself whether you are going to or running from. If going somewhere else is truly a representation of the vibration of your preference, then go to.
yes.
But if you're moving because you're running from, then in that sense, you can never escape that. Does that make sense?
Yes, I feel like I need to go in there. I feel like that's my true self, to raise the vibration, to reduce the negative.
Yet at the same time, remember that when we talk about the idea of acting on your excitement, all the components must also be done in the most exciting way you can imagine. How it is most exciting, where it is most exciting, with whom it is most exciting. Because if you're not allowing all the components to be representative of your excitement, then you're not actually acting on your highest excitement. And that's the only thing others will pick up on, is that you're forcing yourself to be in a vibration you don't prefer.
See, that's where my question is. Even though most people don't prefer that, I just feel like I got tremendous amount of support when I do that.
Yes.
You know, I wrote a letter to President.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yet you're the one that said you wanted to go to Florida.
Yes, I was before I went to your class.
Yes.
Before I listened to you.
So you're saying that Florida was running away.
I gave up Florida. I just want to stay in Boston.
Are you staying in Boston because you're excited to stay in Boston?
I think so, but
You think so or you know so?
I know so.
Thank you.
But it's more challenging.
Of course it's more
Yes.
challenging, but isn't that more exciting?
Yes, very, very
Well,
exciting.
then there you go.
What I want to share with you is that I decided to come to see you.
Yes.
Okay, the day after I bought my air ticket, I lost my glasses and my key right in front of me. They're just gone.
Yes.
So, but I still say I'm going to go. This is
All right.
challenging.
And here you are.
But here I am. Okay, so that's what I want to share with you.
Thank you for allowing yourself to realize that there are many, many paths to manifestation, and it doesn't have to be done in the way that you expect.
One last thing I want to share with you is that you're teaching about the cycle of 9. I incorporate that in my meditation. It's been very powerful.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing that permission slip to work for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello, my friend.
Andrew, good day.
Let's see if I can ask two brief questions, or perhaps you can answer them fairly briefly because there are more behind me. Okay. About 2 years ago, 2 miles from this location, you did another channeling, and someone asked about for example, transcendental meditation or hypnosis or
Yes. And we talked about
binaural
permission
beats
slips.
and permission slips.
Yes.
Exactly. So why is it that sometimes people have their permission slips and it works in very short periods of time?
Yes.
And other people, it might take 20 or 30 years of practicing with their permission slip
Because
and
it's based
nothing.
on their belief system.
They seem to believe.
Seem to believe and believing, two different things.
Sometimes it happens out of the blue to them.
That's because they have a true belief, a true knowing. The idea is that knowing is above belief. Remember, knowing and action are synonymous. The things you know are true, you just do. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to believe. You don't have to wonder if you believe. You just do it because you know it's true. And there are certain areas of your life that may happen in, where other areas of your life it won't, because people have made a difference between those areas. But the idea is that when something transforms, it's because you believe or know that it can, and thus it does. If it takes longer, then either you believe it must, or it serves you that it does, somehow. That's why we created the permission slip originally, that we call the threshold of believability. Do you remember this tool?
Briefly refresh my memory.
Thank you. I will. The idea of the threshold of believability is this. Ask yourself if you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt, without a moment's hesitation whatsoever, that a certain amount of time, let's say 20 years, is more than enough time for the kind of transformation you prefer to occur. If without hesitation at all, even for a microsecond, you can say, oh yes, 20 years, that's more than enough time for that kind of transformation to occur. Then lower the amount of time. Is 10 years enough time for that transformation to occur? Oh yes, I believe, no problem whatsoever. I have no shadow of a doubt that 10 years is more than enough time for that kind of transformation to occur. Do you believe 5 years? 5 years, yes, no problem at all. How about 3? Well, maybe. As soon as you hesitate to answer absolutely, instantly, that's how long it will take with your current belief system. Then you go into the belief system and say, what would I have to believe is true in order for it to take that kind of time? Once you find that belief and have let go of that belief, take the test again and see if you can go past that mark. 3 years, not a problem, not an issue. With my new belief system, I can see how easy it would be to transform in that time. 2 years, yes, not a problem. 1 year, as soon as you hesitate again, go in and find the belief system that says it will take that long and see if you can let that go. When you have cleaned out all those beliefs, whatever time is actually left is the time it actually needs to take for you to actually experience what you prefer to experience in that particular transformational experience.
Okay. All right. And next question. Thank you on that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Let's see how I can answer it. I go to a variety of different channelers.
Yes.
And one of the channelers...
Do you go to yourself, too?
Say again?
Do you go to yourself, too? Because you and everyone is also the first and best channeler for yourself. You are always, first and foremost, your own best guide. So when you say you go to a variety of channelers, make sure you do not omit yourself as one of them.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
And so?
So you say be the example.
Yes.
So, for example, one of the channelers said, if we want to lose weight,
Yes.
we can practice forgiveness. And
That might be
forgiveness
one way.
is powerful.
That might be one
if
way.
If we want to lose 20 pounds, for example,
Yes,
we
yes.
could practice forgiveness.
Yes.
How would we practice forgiveness for it to be effective?
Because many times when people have physical weight issues, it's because they are literally waiting to be themselves. They're holding on to their energy and afraid to be who they really are because they don't believe they deserve it. They believe they're unworthy. And so when they forgive themselves for having had those negative definitions that have limited them and let those things go through self-forgiveness, then they may no longer wait. They may no longer hesitate. And by flowing the energy of their true selves through them, then they can stop waiting.
Thank you.
And they will lose weight.
Thank
sense?
you. All right.
Does that help?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. In many cases, you can take advantage of the wonderful synchronicities of your own language in these issues. Wait.
Hello, my name is Robert.
And good day to you.
I must say I'm very happy to hear that business about the weight because I definitely have to work on that myself. So thank you for that advice.
You are welcome. Speak up.
I must admit that I am unfamiliar with you. My apprentice only...
What a coincidence. I am unfamiliar with you.
Oh, I just love this guy, don't you? And my apprentice brought me to your attention, or you to my attention, about 3 days ago.
All right.
He couldn't really tell me a great deal about you, but I was wondering if you could... Now, you said that you were in a ship that I believe was geosynchronous above Sonora?
It's not in a geosynchronous orbit, which would be 22,300 miles above your planet, but it is holding steady above Sedona.
I like that. But my question right now is, well, say, for instance, we are here right now.
Yes.
And you are speaking, and you came through kind of like on time. Do you have a work schedule that you have an appointment book, say, for instance?
Nope. Everything with us in our civilization is synchronicity. We always know we will be at the right place at the right time, exactly when we need to be there, not a second before, not a second later.
Well, that must make it nice not to have conflicting events. But I also have another question. Are you, within your societal structure, an ambassador by order or
I am a first contact specialist, yes.
In that within the structure of your society, that's what is that your only duty?
It is my family lineage. I am also a pilot and an explorer. I am also a sculptor.
Oh, wow. I'd like to see your work, but I'm afraid you can't bring it with you. The next thing I'd like to know...
Well, you can see it in your mind if I describe one of the things.
Now?
Yes, if you wish.
Go ahead.
Oh, all right. One of the things I have created as a sculptor is what you would call a double-banded helical spiral out of a type of crystalline nanomaterial, you would probably call it, that actually spirals up from the ground to about a distance you would call 1 mile above the planet. That is one of my sculptures.
A physical sculpture?
A physical sculpture.
I saw something, but probably not as good as what it would be if I were accurate.
That's all right. You can think of the idea of a DNA spiral and you'll be close.
Excellent. The next thing I'd like to know is there on your craft a structure of command dynamics, shall we say, that exists? Do you have like a captain or a cook?
The pilots, we don't eat anymore, we don't sleep anymore, so we don't need cooks in that sense anymore. We used to eat in that way that you do, but we have evolved beyond that. We're becoming what we call quasi-physical. Nevertheless, we don't really have a hierarchical structure in the way that your planet does, but the idea is that every ship is itself a sentient being. And the idea is that the pilot of the ship, in that sense, is bonded to the ship telepathically. Thus, then, only the pilot can fly it, because only the pilot can communicate with that particular ship, which is, in a sense, a physicalized symbol of the pilot's own higher mind. Does that make sense in your language?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all right.
Quite well.
This is why, if you were to board one of our ships, you would see the idea of the so-called control console, but it would be completely blank. It would be a whitish crystalline material that would look completely devoid of any controls. That's because in the telepathic connection between the pilot and the ship, the pilot is the only one that can see the controls.
Ah, that makes perfect sense. Well, to me.
Oh, all right. Makes perfect sense to us, too. That's why we do it.
Let's see. Where else was I going to go? I'm sorry. You said that your organization was...
Organization?
My
civilization in our ancient language, which we no longer really use that much, is called Sasani, meaning place of living light. Sasani being the people.
Okay. I'll have to absorb that. It's going to take me a little while.
But it is in another dimension, a slightly alternate reality from yours, another frequency from yours. But if we were to overlap our physical reality with your physical reality, you would be able to set a course to our world by going about 500 light years in the direction of your constellation of Orion.
Okay.
But you cannot see our star from your reality because we're in a different dimensional plane at a different frequency domain, just as we have to shift to your frequency domain to interact with your reality physically as well.
Yeah, actually, that was rather simple to understand.
Yes.
Now, I have another question.
Yes.
I take it that there are a number of, shall we call them species, races, or whatever, that are looking at us at this particular time.
Yes.
There was one that, again, my apprentice brought to my attention because he's always showing me things and I'm teaching him all kinds of stuff all the time. The galactic, get up here and I have a senior moment. Everything. The Galactic Federation. Have you ever heard of
what we
those?
call the Interstellar Alliance, but there are actually many different kinds of alliances, many different kinds of what you might term federations or associations or alliances. So there is actually more than one. We belong to an alliance that has obviously got members, such as ourselves, interacting with you. There are other alliances that have other members interacting with your world to some degree as well.
Well, I'm thinking that I'm getting the impression that we have in your group peoples who are trying to raise the consciousness of our humanity here on the planet. Now, are we looking at the same from just about all the others, or are we...
There are different agendas for different beings, although a large number of the beings that you are aware of have your interests at heart in terms of helping you become more of yourselves, yes.
Oh, I'm very glad to hear that, but I'm kind of worried about the ones that may be out there that don't.
But you see, that's the dichotomy. Because if you spend time focused on the idea of the negative intentions, you actually lock yourself into the frequency where you make it more probable that that's what you will experience. This is why we share with you the ideas. It doesn't really matter what anyone else's intention is. The meaning and the vibration you give to life will determine what you manifest and what you align yourself with, and thus what you experience. So the idea is it's all well and good to be aware that there might be negatively intentioned individuals, but if you start being afraid of it, you actually lock yourself into the same vibration in which they operate, and that makes it more likely you will experience them instead of someone who has your best interests.
Well, thank you very much. That was very good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, this is all just vibrational physics. Like vibration to like vibration. You cannot perceive something you are not the vibration of. So if you're of a completely different frequency, then those things that are not compatible with that vibration cannot find you. You are invisible to them.
Thank you. Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
My name is Noah.
Oh, all right.
I'm from Israel.
All right. Speak up, speak up.
I would like to know how you see this, the future of this country.
Well, again, remember, there is no such thing as a prediction of the future. There are an infinite number of probable future realities based on where your energy collectively decides to go. And that can be changing every moment. In general, there are certain things that a lot of you have a lot of momentum behind, a lot of energy behind, and therefore they may have a high degree of probability of becoming manifest. In other words, you may have a high degree of probability of shifting to the parallel Earth that already exists that's representative of the shift within you. That's what's actually happening. So when you say the future of the world, it doesn't really make sense to us because what you're actually doing is never changing the world you're on. You're changing the vibration within yourself and shifting to a parallel Earth that's already representative of the change you made within yourself. The world that you were on still exists and may be going down another path, but you won't be participating that path anymore if you have shifted to a reality that is of a different vibration. Does that make sense?
Yes.
First of all, the idea, however, is to answer your question more directly, is that in the way you perceive the future to exist, which is again only another version of the now, the idea is that you have a lot of momentum behind certain things, one of which is the idea of transformation, one of which is the idea of contact with other civilizations, and that's why we can say with a higher degree of probability that it seems likely, highly probable, that sometime between your year of 2025 and 2033, somewhere in there, you have a high degree of probability of actually finally having open contact with extraterrestrial civilizations on your planet, which will mean you have achieved a degree of shifting to a vibration that will make that more likely. But that's only because you have a high degree of energy momentum behind that particular probability that we can even say that that window even exists. In other words, to put it more simply, if that wasn't the case, it's likely we wouldn't be having this conversation. Make sense? Because this is a first contact scenario. One of the ways in which we make first contact with civilizations is to have these dialogues, have these discussions, share information. And we use the rate at which you take this information to heart and make it your own and change yourselves. We use that as a barometer for when you're ready for more contact.
Okay.
Because we're never going to force ourselves on you. You have to be the ones to decide that you're actually ready. And I know many of you think you are, but you're not. So relax. The timing is what it is.
Okay.
So the idea is, again, obviously you're having contact now. And that will be part of what you call the future of your world.
I meant the conflicts with in the Middle East.
As I said, the idea is that you have a lot of momentum behind certain things. You can resolve them in certain ways. It is, after all, your planet, is it not?
Right.
Well, then the idea is to put out there with love and compassion actions that are representative of that transformational idea. Start sharing the ideas of self-empowerment. The only reason that conflicts exist on your planet is because people feel disempowered. They've been taught to believe they have no power. They've been taught to believe they're disconnected from source, which isn't possible. And so anyone that feels disconnected from source, disconnected from their power, will feel powerless, will feel out of control, will feel alone, will feel like a victim, will feel miserable. And if they have no connection or no idea of their connection to their own inner power or to source, then the only way they can imagine gaining power is to manipulate the external reality and force others to see things their way. Remember, you have a saying on your planet, misery loves company. It takes a victim to make a victim. So the idea is that when you see people perpetrating what you would call negative acts on others and creating conflicts around your world, those people believe they are victims and they are acting out and lashing out because they want to create as many victims as they can so they won't be alone. So they will feel connected. But you can teach them by example that they can connect in another way. You can teach them that the idea of having to force yourself on someone actually means you don't believe in the power of what you believe in. Because if you did, you would realize that the greatest power of all requires the gentlest touch. Because if it's truly powerful, it doesn't have to exert itself at all. Look at the idea of what you call creation, all that is, God. It is so powerful, so all-pervasive, you actually can believe it doesn't exist. That's how light a touch it has. Because it doesn't need to have a broader touch than that. Because it doesn't need to, because it is everything that exists. So what power does it need to exert over itself? None. So the idea is that when you teach people that they are aspects, they are projections, they are versions of all that is, of creation itself, they are self-empowered as beings, they will not need to foist their ideas on anyone, and there will be no conflict in that way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Thank you.
Thank you.